Laura felt slightly uneasy as the guard unlocked the gates and waved her through. The Blitzkopf Clinic was, after all, the most exclusive institution of its type in the country. She parked her car outside the main entrance of the sterile white main building. She paused on the steps to look at the beautiful flower gardens. An old man was watering the flower bed beside the steps. He smiled at her.
Good afternoon. Are you a new patient?
Oh, I'm not a patient. I'm just here to do some research. I wonder if you could tell me the way to Dr. Blitzkopf's office?
Certainly. Just go through the main door, turn left, walk down to the end of the hall, and it's the last door on the right.
Thank you very much.
Dr. Blitzkopf was expecting her. He had been looking forward to meeting his new research assistant. Dr. Blitzkopf showed her around. He was obviously very proud of his clinic, and Laura was impressed by the relaxed and informal atmosphere. For the next few weeks, Laura spent the mornings interviewing patients and the afternoons in the flower gardens, writing up the results of her research. Some of the patients were withdrawn and depressed. Some seemed almost normal. She found it hard to believe that all of them had been considered too dangerous to live in normal society. Laura often saw the old man in the straw hat. He spent most of his time working in the flower gardens, but he always stopped to speak to her. She found out that his name was Edward Beale. He was a gentle and mild-mannered man with clear blue, honest eyes, white hair, and a pinkish complexion. He always looked pleased with life. She became particularly curious about him. One night, at dinner, she asked about Mr. Beale.
Ah, yes, Edward. Nice old guy. He's been here longer than anybody.
What's wrong with him?
Nothing. His family put him here 40 years ago. They never come to visit him, but the bills are always paid on time.
But what had he done?
He burned down his school when he was 17. Over the next few years, there were a number of mysterious fires in his neighborhood, but the family did nothing until he tried to set fire to the family mansion. He was in here the next day. Edward never protested.
And that was 40 years ago?
I'm afraid so.
But he couldn't still be dangerous.
No. If he wanted to start a fire, he could have done it at any time.
Laura was shocked by the story. She wrote letters to Edward's family, but never received a reply. He had never been officially certified as insane, so he could leave at any time. Dr. Blitzkopf let her talk to Edward.
Edward, have you ever thought about leaving this place?
No, this is my home. And anyway, I have nowhere else to go.
But wouldn't you like to go into town sometimes?
I suppose it would be nice, but I wouldn't want to stay away for long. I've spent 40 years working on this garden. What would happen to it if I weren't here?
Laura realized that it would be unkind to make him leave. But when she found out that the next Saturday was his birthday, she arranged with the staff to give him a party. They wanted it to be a surprise, and Dr. Blitzkopf agreed to let him go out for the afternoon. Edward left at 2:00. He seemed quite excited. They expected him to return about 4:00. The cook had made a birthday cake. Laura was standing in the window when she saw him. He was walking up the drive toward the house, whistling cheerfully. Behind him, above the trees, thick, black columns of smoke were beginning to rise slowly into the clear blue sky.